The open pipe is a slightly different case. Now when the wave reaches the end of the tube, instead of a fixed wall, there's a spongy mass of air. So now, although the wave is reflected, because of the motion of the air, it does not change phase. So in this case, the amplitude is still a maximum. This means that we have antinodes at the end of the tube. The wavelengths for an open pipe are similar to those for a closed pipe, except that we have an antinode at the end of each tube instead of a node. The longest wavelength is still 2L. The fundamental frequency, again using v as the speed of sound, is given by this equation. For a pipe open at one end, we have a very different situation, and each end of the pipe behaves differently. Now when the wave reaches the end of the tube, again, at this end it's reflected and we have a node, but at the far end it's reflected and we have an antinode. So, when the wave is reflected, we obtain a standing wave that looks like that. Okay. So in this case, you can see that the wavelength, if the pipe is length L, the wavelength is only a quarter of the wavelength. This is different than in the previous two cases. And you can see that in this case, the fundamental frequency is V over 4L. Okay. Now, what would the next two standing waves look like in this case, remembering that we have a node at one end and an antinode at the other?